Hello again, ladies and gentlemen, Saka here, and welcome back to another episode of American Truck Simulator. And today, what I'd like to do is get the last named heavy or special transport. That is the helicopter here. So let's see if we can find the helicopter. The transport helicopter from Prim to Eli. Sounds like a good deal. We'll be driving a Volvo. We'll go ahead and take that job. It's 5:12 in the morning. So the sun will be rising soon, if not already up. And like I said, this is the last named special transport. Then the rest of the achievement is just doing all of the stuff that we haven't done quite yet. So hopefully we can get this transport helicopter to Eli in one piece, leaving Prim. And there she is, the Chinook helicopter without the blades. It looks like the front end is facing the rear. It reminds me of the old classic joke that if you are following a big rig wrecker and you know the truck that's being hauled's front end is facing you, you could, like, if your passenger's sleeping, you could like scream and slam on the brakes real quick, and then they think they're getting hit head on by a truck. Yeah, I've never done that before, but I've seen some YouTube videos of such things as these. But today we will be taking the helicopter out, and it looks like we haven't been down these roads before, so that's all well and good. All right, power on, parking brake off. Let us get going down the road. I'll go ahead and make sure my cruise control is up and running. I imagine we'll be doing 40 most of the way, but you can't be too sure. Let's also turn on our headlights for safety. I'm sure the police would not hesitate to pull us over, saying, hey, you got a, you don't have your headlights on here. Now the helicopter doesn't look to be sticking out of the sides too awful much. I guess it's just a long load. That's what makes this thing so interesting, and indeed you can see how long it takes that trailer to come around. So we'll be fine as long as we don't have to turn anywhere. So let's see if we can do this as straight as possible, shall we? All right, Crown Vic is rolling. We'll get up to speed. 71 degrees here in Prim. Whenever I think Prim, I think of the Ferris wheel, and I'm not sure if there is a penitentiary in Prim, but from what Fallout New Vegas has me believe, there's also a penitentiary here that the Powder Gangers were originating from. They apparently they gave the prisoners dynamite, which is not a good idea upon further reflection. Oh, nice. Plane landing in probably Las Vegas, I would say. Although we are heading north, and I think Vegas is to our west, so it might not be going in Las Vegas. It might be doing a pattern or something like that. All right, out on the open road we go. And it's pretty cool to be able to look in your mirror and see everything is free and clear behind you. I'm used to those big special transports that, there we go, set her for 40, that sort of stick out and you can't see out of your mirror too awful much. So that is refreshing. We're on I-15 and heading on down the road. 6 hours and 50 minutes. We're scheduled to be there around lunchtime. So that's pretty good. The next episode of American Truck will probably pick up right at 12:30 since our sleep schedule is recycled every time we start one of these jobs, which is extremely handy. But thank you for tuning in for another episode of American Truck Sim. I think we only have maybe 5 more special transports to go. So after that, we can either sightsee and achievement hunt. We can play another game. Who knows? But we'll just cross that bridge when we get there. We're still about a month away from having to make a decision. So that's one thing you can say about my channel is I'm a bit of a completionist. You'll never see me, well, I won't say never, but more often than not, I'll finish a series no matter if it's popular or how many people's watching. Because, I mean, this is my game time. I'd be playing this anyway without recording, so you're just along for the ride, as it were. And it's fascinating to see that we have not been down this road at all, period. So Las Vegas and Tonopah. I actually watched a video from Jeff Favignano not too awful long ago. He did the Janet Airlines run from Las Vegas International Airport to Tonopah, well, that's the scheduled flight plan, but once you get past a certain point, you turn a certain heading and you head to Grim Lake, or Area 51 as it's known. So not too awful far away. Yeah, I was going to say, those have to be static horses. They can't be real horses running around, but we see the Luxor over there. See all those nice hotels. I want to make it to Las Vegas soon, like in real life, not in American Truck Sim or anything like that, but that's one place I've never been. So I think it'd be cool to at least see. One of my battle buddies was from Las Vegas, lived in Las Vegas his whole life, and of course, when you live in a certain location, all the glitz and glamour fade away. Vegas is more of a travel destination rather than a living destination. Though I'm sure there's a lot of pretty high-tech jobs in the Las Vegas area, centered around gambling and, the technology that gambling comes with, casino and all that good stuff. I tell you, if you're a gamer, a statistician, as it were, a person who likes odds, then working in Las Vegas would be a dream job for sure. I believe that's Caesar's Palace over there, or the reasonable facsimile of Caesar's Palace. That was the first gambling game I ever played on Sega Genesis, way back when, was Caesar's Palace. I remember thinking it was so cool that you could, back then we didn't know any better, but you could sort of see inside Caesar's Palace and gamble and whatnot. I was no good at it. And as I grew older and started to understand the math and the statistics behind the gambling, gambling's not one of those things that I really look forward to. If I went to Vegas, I wouldn't go there to gamble. It'd be one of those things where I would go to see the sights. The dining is one thing that I would really like to partake. I've never had fine dining. I'm sure Vegas is full of a lot of quick buffets and cheap food to keep you gambling and in one place. Oh, that stratosphere behind that sunrise. That's iconic right there. That's pretty cool. One thing I'm not going to do is go on those two rides on top of the stratosphere. There was, I think there's one of those launchers that you see at the state fairs where you're sitting in a chair and all of a sudden you get shot vertical. No, not a fan of that. And I'm not a fan of the roller coaster where you're sort of plummeted off the edge and then brought back in. Not a fan either. That's not my idea of thrill seeking. If I was to thrill seek in Las Vegas, it would be at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. I think they have those, oh, holy crap, Crop Duster, he ain't playing around over there. He's doing turns that would knock out a fighter pilot, I say. But to thrill seek in Las Vegas at the Speedway, I know the Carroll Shelby Museum is nearby the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and as a car fan, I'd like to see some original Shelbys. You see those Mustangs nowadays that have the Shelby badge on them, but it's not like seeing a 67 GT500 in person. Nice. The Audi back there decided to give us a lot of room. We kind of clipped the inside edge there. Hopefully that didn't damage the structural integrity of the helicopter. Let's take a gander here. Nope. Just sort of a love tap. And I imagine aircraft are pretty resilient. We probably hit the trailer anyway. But yeah, those turns off of the highway are definitely sharp. I needed to take that with a lot more care. Why 30? Can't you go up to 40? There you go. Come on, Highway Patrol. Get up there, man. I don't want to have to slow down on your behalf. Let's go. Pick up some speed now. Why you go 30? Get up to 40, man. There you go. Push that bus on over. Yeah, the Shelby Museum would be a sight to see, and I would definitely go do a driving school, drive a stock car around there. It's a very fast racetrack, and they added some banking in the last 5 years or so, I think, and it makes that track extremely fast. The more banking you can add for stock cars, the faster they go, because, you know, physics and all that good stuff. So that's what my ideal Vegas vacation would be. The motorsport aspect, the food aspect. I wouldn't consider myself a fan of magic, per se, but going to a magic show might not be bad. Those professional illusionists definitely know what they're doing, and it's captivating to watch. I think they really gain popularity because people try to figure out, you know, how it's done. There is no magic in this world, but there's definitely illusion, that is for sure. The hand is quicker than the eye and all that good stuff. So I hope your weekend went well. I hope mine does too. It should be an okay weekend, all things considered. Continuing to work on the Sea Duck, which I sort of informally announced in the last episode. I had a comment already from my #1 subscriber, Oliver, who would sort of like to see an update video, and that could be done. I'm about 4 or 5 hours into it already. Just getting the basic shape in X-Plane. It's definitely not something that, you know, if I posted in its entirety on YouTube, I could keep talking for 5 straight hours about what I'm doing when I'm just, you know, fine-tuning vertices and working in 3D space. But I really do enjoy it. I haven't been modifying anything in 3D space since I did a Skyrim sword. I did like a Greek sword in Skyrim, and that was really the last time I got into a 3D modeling program heavy. So it's pretty cool to get back into it, get into the swing of things, get my legs under me. The only big question is, as of now, do I have the right plugin to export the model from 3ds Max? Because I use 3ds Max, and all the tutorials I see online for X-Plane import is Blender, which is a free 3D program. It's not like I'll be out any money, but I don't really want to take the time to learn a whole new modeling software when I have a software that I'm fairly quick at. Of course, nothing stops me from getting Blender anyway, and then exporting the 3ds Max file into Blender, and then just exporting it there. It's an extra step along the road I might have to do, but you know, it'll be worth it in the end if I can pull this off. But I'm pretty satisfied with the results thus far. My channel isn't known for flight simulation, but a flying video every now and then would be pretty good. I think people would enjoy it. It would almost take the format of American Truck here, where, you know, once you get your cruise control set, you're just, you know, basically on autopilot, following the lines of the road, making the turn here and there, and just having a chat, seeing the scenery, and that fits right into the wheelhouse of the flight simulator. Although I think X-Plane would keep me on my toes a little bit more because of the failures that may occur randomly on the plane, force you to think on your feet and get the plane down safely. American Truck, there are no such failures unless you hit a wall and you actually damage your truck, and then I believe it's a random chance every, you know, certain percent that your engine just stops, but all you got to do is hold the gas pedal down and get your engine refired. So it should be pretty good. I am enjoying American Truck though, as always. It's a very fun game. I'm interested to see what the next state is going to be. My gut tells me Colorado, but I haven't seen any official word from SCS or anything like that to confirm for sure. But I've got a hunch that it's going to be Colorado. There's a few achievements that I have left to do for Oregon DLC. One is nice F-22, probably out flying by Nellis Air Force Base, right outside of Las Vegas. But I have to take a load of fruit up through the Cabbage Pass. So I'll have to actually look up and see where that is. And one achievement is to drive across a certain bridge, which Obviously, I haven't driven across, otherwise I would have gotten the achievement, but see what route takes me across that bridge. Might do that in my own truck. And then maybe once we're done with the special transport stuff, we can get back into driving the orange Kenworth and getting a garage and spending some of this $1.1 million that I got. Hello, SETI. The search for extraterrestrial intelligence. I assume that's what that is. I think SETI is has that many satellite dishes pointed to the sky. Tell you, the search for alien life is something that'd be really interesting. I wasn't that good in math when I was in school. Still not today. I mean, even simple math sucks. I mean, just as an example, I had to calculate percentage-wise, like the fuselage of the Sea Duck is 50 feet long. So how many pixels is that compared to, footage, and get that percentage. So when I do make the fuselage, it's actually 50 feet long and all that good stuff. I struggle with basic conversion like that, more or less, like calculating all the crap that scientists calculate. Scientists have my utmost respect because they can figure out things on a sheet of paper that, a couple thousand years ago, people would be just guessing. But now it's like, oh, with physics, I can tell you exactly how long that thing is going to fly, or I'm going to tell you exactly how long you have to stay airborne, or how long you can roll. Or Kerbal Space Program for sure, how much Delta V you're going to spend and on the total trip, and how much you need to, move your spaceship from place to place. That kind of stuff is cool, but I can't figure it out for the life of me. I understand the process. Orbits make sense to me, but as far as calculating it, nope, not for me. The scientific field would be something I think I would be pretty at home in. If I just got the math down, the interest level is extremely high. That's one thing that kept me from applying to NASA, is always like, well, you have to have your degree in this, that, and the other in the sciences, which makes sense, because if you're going to colonize a new world or, extract resources or calculate fuel usage, you need math. But as a poor English major like me, there's PR people in NASA. They have to write their blogs and whatnot. Professional writing is a part, but they're not really looking for that. I guess they figure they have the scientists who obviously have some degree of writing skill, that we'll just use our scientists and, get them multitask. We're not going to hire a specialist to come in and just write something. Police officer slowing down to 30, and that's the actual speed limit for the road, so I'm not too awful upset about it. I think once we get up to, hello Wendy's, or I guess Penny's, as it were. Cameron. It looks like the real world's not the DLC, but the real world's workshop content I have doesn't work for those side billboards there. I'm sure it wouldn't take 2 seconds for someone to swap out all the Penny's logos for Wendy's logos and the Chevron logos for Chevron logos, but I digress. That's something I probably could do, but American Truck Sim modding is something I've looked at and, not something that I want to get into quite yet. I have to pick my battles as far as what I want to dedicate my time to. Because with recording the 5 videos a week and working 40 to 50 hours a week on the day job, I have very limited time that I'm like away from YouTube, away from work, and doing my own thing. So X-Planes seem more straightforward, and that can contribute to, continuing on a series. Though once I get comfortable with X-Plane modding and, I can dedicate some time to American Truck, it wouldn't be, too out of the realm of possibility of making a truck for this particular game. And I think I would have one in mind that I would really like to add to the game. Most people have memories of their family or their friends or someone they know driving a very specific semi. In this game, it's like, well, my dad drove a 1987 Kenworth, and you know, it had this in it and this in it. But I'm like the video game guy, so my ideal semi would probably be Darkside from Twisted Metal. If I could choose one of the dark sides and put that in here and just roll, like not even haul anything, but just to roll in Darkside. And I know what you're thinking, hey, how would you do a cockpit? Or, you know, how would you make a 3D greenhouse, steering wheel, and all that good stuff? Like, what would you use? The very first Twisted Metal was the only Twisted Metal to feature an in-car camera or an in-car driving view, which I really missed in every Twisted Metal since. That was how I played Twisted Metal, was from the in-car. Like the whole time, not being a sim fan, that probably doesn't surprise you a bit. But I remember Darkside's interior, and you know, I think Thumper, their interior being the lowrider, he had like a pistol on his dashboard, and you know, Crimson Fury, you know, was a Lamborghini, and Mr. Grimm was the motorcycle, and that was cool because you could see a whole lot more on a motorcycle than in a car, of course, but Mr. Grimm's armor rating was 1 bullet out of 5, so you had to make sure to not get hit if you were Mr. Grimm. Your special attack was one of the most powerful in the game, but dang, you paid for it in armor. And I remember thinking when I saw the cover art for Twisted Metal 2, and Axel was the poster child for Twisted Metal 2, it's almost like they wanted to push that character. I was thinking, how would an in-car camera work, because the tires extended so far past your point of view? How would you even see where you were going? Well, the answer was very simple. You don't. You played in an external camera, or I think they might have had like a bumper camera, but it's not the same. It's not the same if you can't see like the bullet holes in your windshield and all that stuff. Like, I actually thought about that leading up to it. You know, maybe I should have been a game designer. But like, I actually thought about these sort of things. I didn't think, oh wow, a new Twisted Metal, I wonder what kind of, you know, places they go. I didn't care about that. I was thinking about the design aspect of what it would look like. And of course, the graphics were much better than Twisted Metal 1. But I did appreciate Twisted Metal 1's focus on Los Angeles as a whole. The arena was the first combat with you and 2 other people, and then, shoot, did you go to Central Park? And then eventually you ended up on the rooftops with Minion, and just like the design of all these different places in Los Angeles was really cool. Imagine if they did something like that nowadays. Better graphics and all that good stuff. It could probably be done fairly easy. I mean, that was the age of Wreckfest. Well, Wreckfest. I call it Wreckfest, but that was the age of Destruction Derby. And I mean, you have Wreckfest doing a solid, making a spiritual successor to Destruction Derby that plays really, really well and is really, really fun. I'm sure Twisted Metal could do well. That was back when like Interstate 76 came out, and the game developers were sort of jumping on the automotive combat bandwagon. And you don't really see any more automotive combat games. Carmageddon and things like that. I think it was a genre that hit its peak, and now not too many people would play such things as these. I would shudder to think what would happen if Electronic Arts or something like that got a hold of it. Sweet Tooth DLC, because everyone likes to play as Sweet Tooth, and we know that. So if you want to play your favorite character, you know, $3.99, and then car skins, weapon packs, start every level with power missiles or something so you don't have to go find them. I can see it now. I can see it now indeed. But I haven't played Twisted Metal in quite some time. I kind of wish, I know there's a way to do it, but I kind of wish I could record some old footage of like Twisted Metal and the classic PlayStation games. Just sort of as a one-off to see how well they're holding up nowadays, graphics-wise, gameplay-wise. Are they still fun? Does the nostalgia live up? Because most of those games like that, come on, Simone, you gotta do better than that. But most of the games like that run on a nostalgia fuel, thinking, oh, that was an amazing game, when really it wasn't. You were just sort of going off your childhood. I think most games would be like that for me nowadays. The old nostalgia fuel would kick in and I would start playing a game and I'd be like, come on, like, control better, or I can't believe I spent so much time on this, like, this is so frustrating. I don't know. I don't get to, oh, hello, bus. I don't get to go back and play those old games. Shoot, I imagine like an emulator like EPSXE, if that's even still around. I might be dating myself here, but EPSXE was a really good PlayStation emulator. And I imagine on modern systems nowadays it wouldn't have any trouble emulating at full speed. Might even have to cap it a bit, because it would like it'd try to play too fast. I sort of ran into that problem with Wing Commander 3, which was an old DOS game. But games like that defined my childhood. Games like Twisted Metal, Wing Commander, that sort of thing. And being a big fan of Wing Commander, I got into the X4 Foundations game a bit. I haven't put in a whole lot of time, but that open space sandbox, it scratches an itch of, you know, space combat and flying. And once I get my carriers and whatnot, I could, you know, continue the Wing Commander feeling of getting on a carrier, flying into enemy territory, running some missions, coming back to the carrier, that sort of thing. You know what Squadron 42 is supposed to be? But I think that thing isn't even supposed to be here until 2020. And I've got my feelings about Star Citizen, that's for sure. And we got some time, so I might as well air my grievances. It's not, you know, it's not Festivus, but it's time to air some grievances here. You know, poor Star Citizen. I pledged back when it was just supposed to be Squadron 42. Essentially, like, Chris Roberts said, I want to make a new game, and it's going to look like this. And I'm like, excellent, a new Wing Commander style game from the guy who did Wing Commander. He knows this stuff. So I pledged. And then I watched it snowball into what it is now with, well, let's just add a persistent universe. Let's add a boarding mechanic. Let's add a piracy mechanic. Let's add a law mechanic. Let's add a first-person shooter mechanic. Let's add, you know, all of a sudden the feature creep was real. And it doesn't look like they're going to get it done. Like, I don't want to be a naysayer and say it's never coming out, but I'm going to say that it isn't coming out anytime soon, that's for sure. And it's disheartening. The people that have put so much, you know, time into the alpha and, you know, playing around, and I'm seeing screenshots from the Star Citizen Twitter feed, and it's like people are playing it, and it looks like it'll be fun, but it's not like Squadron 42. It's not what I signed up for. And that's the whole early access Kickstarter buyer beware for sure is, you know, you might not get what you pay for. There's the idea, you're paying to fund an idea, and where that idea goes after you put your dollar down, that's up to the creator. And, you know, if they do it right, they take feedback from the community, they keep the scope manageable, and they release the product when they say they're going to release it, or keep people in the loop and every time Star Citizen tries to keep people in the loop, it just feels like deflated. It's like, so this is where we are now, and this is where we want to be in 3 years' time. It's like, oh, come on, 3 years? Really? It's going to take you that long? And that could be a factor of the now age, and everyone wants everything now, and nothing should take long. And if it's in early access, you can expect it soon, and that's not the case in most cases. And you know, you have to curb your expectations for sure. Curb your enthusiasm. But it's tough to be enthusiastic about a game that doesn't seem like it's coming out anytime soon, and there's a lot more to play. Like in the meantime, like by the time Squadron 42 comes out, there may be an even better feeling of Squadron 42. And it's not Squadron 42, but someone just got it out first, and it plays great. And then by then, like, Star Citizen will come out, and Squadron 42 sure will have Mark Hamill, and let's see, was it John Rhys Davies came back, and you know, the classic Wing Commander guys, but come on. I mean, come on. But we're coming up to Eli. We have about an hour to go, and it's kind of odd that we're entering the city limits and we still have to drive an hour. But I guess at this speed it makes sense, and hopefully the stoplight will change. We need you to change, good sir. We're coming through. Come on, roll, roll, roll. What's taking this light so long? Cross traffic is stopped. What are we waiting for? There we go. Let's roll. Didn't have to stop, but my lord. All right, let's take this as wide as we can. Make sure we don't cut anyone's nose off. And you know, I was joking about not, you know, doing a route that didn't have to turn, and we actually did okay. Oh, of course the turn lane goes. Are we next? Please say we're next. I know that red SUV needs to get out of our way. Do you not see the police officer behind you? It does make me wonder as SCS updates the Oregon map to handle the special transport DLC loads, are they going to do some tweaking with the AI that says if police officer is pushing you or within a certain range, move over. You know, clear the lane, get out of the way. It would certainly be handy. Hopefully there are no more stoplights. It looks like we're making a left turn up here, so we might be able to just turn left and get in the lot before the light. Or if the officer is going to stay in this lane until the turn lane, that's going to be a little bit awkward. But we're going into this Walmart. Interesting. I know you can order a lot of stuff on Walmart.com, but can you have your helicopter delivered right to you? That's the question. Yeah, thankfully the SUV got out of the way, and we will be making this turn. Police officer's going to block traffic. Outstanding. That's what I'm talking about. Free and clear. With no oncoming traffic. All right, and here we go. There it is. Awesome. So right across from the Walmart in an empty parking lot. Hopefully the edge of that helicopter doesn't clip. It looks like it kind of might, maybe, sorta. All right, we rounded it. We rounded it. Let's get on center. It's a little bit tricksy because we have to be perfectly straight by the time we get in here. And it looks like we're close enough for government work. No? Yes, no? Maybe so? Probably not? All right. So let's see. Yeah, we are at an extreme funny angle here. So can we back this thing up? Ever so slightly. We need to go this way So it forces the trailer dolly that way, so the actual helicopter gets pushed that way. All right, let's push the dolly around. Luckily, the police officers have blocked off this road, and we can pretty much pull straight in. Now, this is the best reversing I've done in a multi-pivot trailer, I say. Watch out, you're moving to the rear escort. Well, I kind of have to, because we went 0 to 100 here. All right, bring her back on center. Now, is that going to be straight and narrow? Should be straighter. Let's come out this way a bit. Please. Please. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. All right, we'll reverse up just a bit. I know we can do it. We just have to get the helicopter pivoted over just a skosh. There you go, dolly. Now, I don't want to skip parking, because we are going to be good sir. There. Now that should force that helicopter straight. I tell you, multi-level thinking here, pivoting the dolly so it can pivot a trailer, so which way do we go? All right, now this should be as straight and narrow as we can get. All right, so this should be fine. We'll be able to pull straight on through and be good to go. There we go. Sweet. Didn't even have to call in the auto parker. Get to the chopper, and Big in America 7 out of 11. So that is 4 deliveries left in the Special Transport DLC. Let's see what we need to do in the next episode. Let's load up the Special Transports here. We did the air conditioning and the turnkey. I don't think we've done the huge construction or the massive tech part. The giant silo we did. I don't think we've done the reservoir tank and the service boat. So those look to be the last 4 that we're going to do, but that will do it for me in this episode of American Truck, ladies and gentlemen. Like, share, and subscribe if you are so bold. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next American Truck Sim video. Take care.